Zam, zippity zap zam. Hey everybody, welcome back to Karandrin Role Playing. This is episode 150 of Brise's Tale. Isn't that amazing? 150 episodes in the bank, or it will be at the end of this one. My name is Kevin Manus Pennings, also known as Cracked Palantir, and I will be your host and game master for, as already had been said, episode 150 of Brise's Tale. And as always, my good buddy Max is here to play the lovely and talented Paladin Brise. Max, say hello to the lovely people.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Kevin, we should one of these days and then I'm just a different person, right? And he's like, and as always, played by my good friend, Josh.
Right. We just switch it up,
Lovely Breeze.
baffle people. So this is episode 150. Looks like we'll squeeze in 151 next week, and that'll be us for the year. So tune in for that on the 18th, Wednesday at our usual time.
Maybe.
Maybe
we should talk about that. I forgot to mention that before the stream.
Oh no, this might be our last one for the year.
We'll try to squeeze one more in. We'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know. We'll make an announcement and everything. So we have last episode was some conversations and some recovery and so on. We also had some success in terms of defeating some a neighboring noble's effort to undermine Lady Miagral, who is the goblin noble that is currently sponsoring Brise and sort of has her in her employ. This neighboring Lord Algrit, he attempted to establish a cult, a fake cult, but a cult nonetheless, to undermine the moral authority of Lady Miagral. And Brise was tapped on an intercept mission to do an intercept mission and try to get those guys before they could bring all of their fake cult wares into town and set up a base of operations for this sort of fake cult that was going to seem to be operating inside of Lady Miagral's domain.
Little do they realize it was a fake town we led them to.
Oh, that's hilarious. Do like the British did in World War II, where they had inflatable tanks.
Yeah.
And that way the German bombers would hit those instead of the real deal.
Inflatable necromancers.
Inflatable necromancers. Inflatable bridges, inflatable convoluted roads.
It's just a bounce house. It's just a theme park.
That's right. Which are dangerous, apparently, in high winds, which I had never considered a thing. That had to be terrifying to watch your child get pulled away in one of those. But Brise is continuing to struggle with basically damage to her soul, and it's letting less pleasant characteristics of her personality flare up. She's shorter of temper. She's sort of more selfish, and she's struggling to rest and recover from that, and sort of surround herself with comfort and beauty and companionship, and hopefully regain her former self. There's some interesting things going on, but most immediately we left off last week in conversation with a moderately experienced adventurer named Janvor. And I'm going to get that wrong several times throughout the session, so you guys would just have to bear with me and as Max corrects me repeatedly. I know it's really bad, but
someone has to remember the names of these characters.
I know, right?
Not the game master.
That's right. My database is at, I don't know, 120 names, something like that. Setting aside all the temporary characters we come across. But so you're at the Are you at the you're at the Eternal Candle now? Are you not? You're at the Adventuring
Eternal
Guild.
Lantern, yes.
Eternal Lantern, excuse me.
Yeah,
And
we're just finishing up conversation. We try to do some selling of trading of magic items. Apparently, didn't have anything of interest.
right,
And he didn't think anything I had was of interest. So
right,
we're just going to finish up with some couple questions I had for him about news or potential things he's heard about.
right. So yeah, so he's very helpful. He's very pleasant. Um, he does seem more experienced than you. He's been out longer. Um, this dwarven adventurer of unknown specialization.
Mhm.
What else do you want to ask him, Matt?
Yeah, I'll ask him about the if he's ever heard of something called the Great Sky Rings. They are potentially a ancient weapon used around the area of convergence, and I've been researching them. Their history and use.
He says it reminds him of something else he's heard about, um, which is a dark dwarf instrument of war called the Cloud Fang. That was a circular pattern of clouds that apparently could be commanded from several miles away to descend upon a city. And rumor was that it would basically hurl blades from the sky, slaughtering the inhabitants.
Wow.
But he's only heard rumors of that. And it's supposed to lie somewhere in Coronach, which is the Dark Dwarf nation, south of the desert lands. But unless they're one and the same thing, he's never heard that name before. It just sounds similar to something else,
Right. It's crazy that lots of ancient destructive weapons. It's like we're living in kind of like a post-apocalyptic time.
Right now we're in what political scientists call the long peace.
Yes.
And so
like 100 years, right?
Right. Without we've gone since World War II, we've gone without a world war.
Right.
And so so we're pushing 80 years, I guess, without a world war.
Mm-hmm.
And the belief is because of the existence of nuclear weapons. No one wants to.
Ironically,
yeah. So maybe that's what set this in motion. He asked if you've ever heard of the Cloud Fang.
Can't say I have. Although I'm not a ancient weapons expert, so.
And not a particular interest of yours, not a
right.
special interest.
Interested in history, but not really warfare.
Right.
I'll also just ask him if he's been through the county east of here. It belongs to a noble man named Algrit. If he brings any news from there, or rumors.
I know the name. I've passed through there at times. He knows he has a reputation of being brash. Not someone you want to upset. You find yourself in the dungeons, that sort of thing. But He stayed in the northernmost town in that province, a town called Hivar, Hivarr.
Oh,
And the county seat, which lies along the road that leads into Ballabry, the road that the town that you've sent missions into, and
yeah.
so on, um, um, is Galwell, Galwell.
That's like where Algrit's
That's where his
keep is?
keep is, and
Okay.
that's where the county seat is. So if you have business with the government, that's where you go.
All's well in Galwell. It's the
That's
town
right.
slogan.
That's right.
And everyone's like, oh,
We finally get canceled.
finally.
So,
Okay. Yeah, that's all I had to ask him. So
what about? Did you ask about Holver?
no, I should be careful about speaking his name, but I'll allude to it. I'm like, have you ever heard of a necromancer with purple eyes? Very powerful. Goes by the name of Holver.
He leans in. He says, "I have," and we should speak softly that name. No doubt, at least some people staying here are under his employ.
I say perhaps it would be better to practice our trap research tomorrow, perhaps in your room. We could have more privacy.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
You can't really be entangled with him, surely.
He may be entangled with my master, the lady I serve.
Have you mentioned that's Miagral?
Miagral, yeah. The ruler of this county.
He lets out a long, kind of breath, right? Like, that complicates stuff, And he leans back and he regards you and he says, "We'll talk more.
Okay.
We'll talk more." Anything else we're missing that would be pretty obvious? Volshad, I guess, would be one.
Yeah. Although Holver is the bigger issue.
Right.
Can I ask? Yeah, I'll ask about. Can I ask about Volshad and Shelbrick if he's heard those names. Also necromancers, also powerful, also evil.
He shakes his head. Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay.
He plies you with questions about them, about how best to steer clear of, what do you know about Shelbrick, and what
Right.
do I need to know?
I'll kind of tell them the areas they've been operating in and their kind of interests. Avoid the roads going through the vetch.
At least the western side of
Yeah.
the vetch.
between like Convergence and Pesidarius. Those are the cities most threatened by his action.
Not Pestidarius, but Pleston.
Oh, you're right, Pleston.
I don't have much going on in either of those cities. That's of some relief, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate the words of caution. Is that it? Anything else we're missing that's obvious? I'm looking through the captions.
Yeah, I'm looking through my magic items too, see if there's anything I had questions about there. I do have one last thing. I do have this. I would have left this at Mirgol's Keep. We forgot to look at the witch's broom that I have. I've had that in my room at the Keep. I've been wanting to ask someone about that. I'll bring it up with him. It's at my. So I tell him that I have in my possession. Did battle with a creature. Seemed to resemble a witch. Tried to tempt me with good food, and then when I refused her offer, turned on me and attacked with powerful magic. And when I defeated her, all that was left was her broom. Been meaning to ask someone if they're familiar with such an item or how to understand its powers.
If it still exists by the time you get back to your quarters, you'll probably find that it only has the power of flight. While this creature was alive, if she were a real witch, it would serve as her wand or staff, making it easier to cast spells and to augment her own power. But once they die, unless it's been enchanted to a certain point, it usually crumbles with them. But I wouldn't advertise to too many people that you have one, even if it retains its magical ability to fly. Many people consider the item to be cursed.
Okay. Many powers. Okay. I ask if considered cursed or it is cursed. Will using it potentially cause me harm?
Not everything is known about curses, not even by the great minds.
That's fair.
You've got a witch's broom. You have a cat. I'm hearing a profession switch in your future. You're just
There's my this is just wicked. This whole
oh my God.
episode 150 of
That's right.
got the pointy hat now. It's next episode I'm just green.
That's right. Do not look beyond the stream. You know, it's
Oh, that's fun. If I have an item that can fly, I will definitely keep that on me. Curse or no curse?
that's the way to go about it. You've never had problems with curses before.
No. I get cursed every Tuesday.
I would think it would be every Wednesday when you play this game. You know.
True. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to ask him.
So he buys a meal for you both. You just kind of pass the time.
Yeah.
At some point, while you're eating, He nods over at a goblin adventurer who came down sometime later. Yeah, the goblin adventurer is alone, but he's ordered 2 drinks and clearly set aside a space on the table for company.
Hmm.
And Janvor nods to the goblin very subtly, sort of gestures with his fork, and says, I've heard him mention Holver.
Mhm. I say, do you know in what context? As a friend or foe?
I, by tone, was not upset with having met him.
Hmm.
I would say working for, or at least approached by.
Hmm.
And maybe the money wasn't right. I don't know. But wasn't scared. Didn't mention it warily.
I'll try to steal a glance at him to kind of memorize his face. If I think if I go talk to him, I'd probably want to have like a potion of face change, pretend to be somebody else.
Roll for me.
27.
Hard to get a great look at him. The thing about him, face change notwithstanding, or his face notwithstanding, is um, unbelievably gaunt.
Hmm.
He's very, very thin, slightly above average in height. No real indication if he's capable of magic or not. His armor is so light he could be a spellcaster and just not wear robes.
Right.
Janvor says, you know how it goes, though. He could simply be a hireling going to do some research in a distant land, going to
Right.
retrieve an item. It may mean nothing.
Yeah, I've
But
heard of others he has hired just like that. So could very well be a dead end.
it
Best
does
maybe.
show you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just say best maybe to monitor him and see what he gets up to.
He's a cagey one, I'll tell you that. He puts a drop of wax outside of his door so that if someone stops by his door, they'll leave an imprint in the morning. It's an old trick, but if you're not looking for it, it means that he's at least expecting trouble. And he knows how to handle himself. Um, he says, but it does go to show that he's definitely your purple-eyed friend is definitely active in the area.
Right.
You don't hire anyone unless you plan to be there for a while. Else, how do you get back in touch?
Mm-hmm.
So the meal continues more pleasantly. The goblin is joined by a half-orc male. In robes. And carries on his shoulder an owl with gem-like eyes, not a creature you've seen before. It also has long tail feathers that trail down almost to the floor. Janvor mouths to you the word summoner.
Hardly even know her. I'm sorry. That's really bad. Summon who? How much do I know about summoners?
Roll for me.
16. A whole lot of nothing.
Not a lot. You know that as opposed to hurling spells, what they do is they bring beasts into the fray to fight for them.
Right.
Roll for me.
81.
You lean in and say, "How do you know?" He says, "There's only one way you get a beast like that."
Right. Magically created or summoned.
And I can almost do that with my skills. But I'll never be able to do that.
Interesting.
He says, "As a beastmaster, I study summoner magic. My familiars can be 4, 6, 8 times the size of yours. That's my special gift. But a true summoner can have magical and unusual beasts. Now, sure, there are a few rare items that might have let you do that, but that's a summoner."
Kind of like I'll watch the owl for a little while through our conversation. Does it kind of note its mannerisms, see what it's doing?
The eyes glow faintly. It does not seem to eat. Like he never takes a morsel of food and holds it up to his shoulder or anything.
Right.
Some other adventurers approach and have a conversation about the owl, sort of compliment it, and
it eats one of the adventurers.
It does, just tosses them back like a shrimp. They conduct some business at their table, buying and selling magic items.
Okay.
The owl is definitely You realize systematically observant. It is checking the room quarter by quarter in a very regular pattern. Pattern is slow, so it takes you a while to register it.
Wonder how I could use Azrael to eavesdrop on. If I could send Azrael over to see what they're. I mean, I guess I can hear them, right? They're just talking about magic items, and
Yeah, but you catch snatches of the conversation.
it
It's
doesn't
not,
seem to be
yeah, it's not
crucial.
particularly hushed or
Yeah,
anything like that. The thing is, you can't really. You're in a whole world where people know what familiars are now. You know what I mean?
it's true.
So you
And
can't
if
just
this guy knows, if this guy's cagey, he probably knows about
right. And so
cats listening in. Yeah.
exactly, no one in this room is going to be comfortable with a strange animal just approaching and hanging out.
Yeah, I forgot we're in a adventurers guild.
Right.
Not
Which
just a
is kind of neat, right? Because it's like it's a
yeah.
whole different. You walk through a certain veil, and now it's a different ball game. These
Mhm.
people do accept magic. They do understand what's going on. And so you can't take for granted the things that a peasant might let pass. Um, so, um, anything else for the evening, or for Janvor, or for the?
I just asked Janvor about the goblin, quietly. When does he typically leave in the morning? Might try to send someone here to monitor him.
I've been taking it easy, spending a lot of time in my room.
Hmm.
I'm not really clocking people's movements. But we both know that his master isn't to be trifled with. And you'll forgive me, but I don't think I want to get that involved.
That's fair.
Now, see, here's where you go, like, hey, if you really want his help, I mean, I don't want you to hesitate to make a big offer. Because, I'm not saying you have to,
I see
but,
what you mean, yeah.
oh,
It does. He's already agreed to teach me like about traps. Like it doesn't. I don't have anything to lose by saying, "Are you sure?" and slide him, let's say, 50 gold coins.
well, but think about what it would take for you to get involved. 50 gold, I don't think is going to move the dial for you.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
take push him one mithril.
you think, would 100 gold move you to get involved with?
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. If I'm on the other side,
Right.
I sometimes tend to think of these as NPCs, right? But like it's true. They're just like me. I should be.
Yeah, this is
I would not get involved for one mithril.
I hope that is an advancement. This game has advanced the idea of NPCs. We're like, no, I really play them as people.
Yeah.
And so, like, and
Well,
I bring this up just because I think what PCs do, I think what players do, is they tend to think of, well, I'll go for painless answers, But if you really want answers, right? If you were sitting on 1,000 gold right now, 10 mithril right now, would you be like, you know what? This guy seems talented. He already knows the summoner bit, so he can sort of, he seems qualified to sort of deal with that problem.
right. He does. Yeah.
And again, I'm not making an argument for this instance so much as all other instances. Just keep in mind, you're like, look, here is half my magic items. I really need this done.
Yeah.
You know, especially if it solves a major problem. And this may not be the major problem. This may not be the opportunity for that. But I think we look for low sacrifice
We do,
answers as players.
because well, it's also because Karandrin is very dangerous, and I feel like I need all my items.
Sure.
it's it's but yeah, no, there are some risks that are worth it. But we'll take it easy for now. We'll back
Yeah.
off. And well, I'll ask him, is like, is there anything I could do to change your mind?
Were you making a sexual joke there? Is that what occurred to
Yes
you?
and no.
Yes. And no. Can it be both? He said, my plans really don't extend beyond 4 days here. And if I were to guess, they're going to be gone before then. They're either returning from doing his bidding, or they're going out to do his bidding. Now, I guess there is a middle answer, and that is they could be recruiting help.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, even if I could clock their movements for you, watch their comings and goings, I'm not sure what you would really learn.
Right.
I mean, perhaps you need to confront what you really need to know.
My thought was just to know when he leaves, so then I could show up or send someone to track them throughout the day. But it might just be better just to send someone here as early as possible. And
maybe this is something that Fraldrum
would have a better
can handle.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Just I'm afraid of getting wrapped up, and then it becomes something that also damages Miagral's reputation, right?
Right. And especially with someone with the resources, because I'm not crazy, right? Fraldrum knows of Holver, right? I haven't.
She told me about him in
Okay.
detail. So she's the one who knows the most about him, who I've spoken with. So
right. So
let's report this back to her and maybe get her
right. And then you could get something in motion very quickly, and someone more experienced to watch out. It's kind of interesting if you think about like the people you've hired to do various things, right? They would have learned very little watching your hirelings go and do this and that. The one thing they could have learned, which you don't need to know because you already pretty well know, is your location, just by tracking your hirelings.
Right.
But you sort of know that for Holver.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty public knowledge that I live at the keep. You can ask anyone in Ballabry about me.
Right.
What I do there is a mystery.
That's very true. Yeah. So, but yeah, Fraldrum may, go whole hog and really put the screws to these people and find out something, or have them disappear.
Yeah. So we'll do that. So I think that's the
sort of as much
the rest of the meal. Yeah. We'll just enjoy the rest of the meal unless something else comes up.
Yeah. So, nice evening, decent food, as all food is for you, just kind of okay. He tells you he plans to be ready by sundown, and you guys can have a more in-depth conversation about other matters at that time.
Okay.
And he's going to go off to the shops and begin getting stuff that he needs, both for his own purposes and for your meeting tomorrow. So he rises, throws a few coins on the table to take care of the tip, and then claps you on the shoulder, and off he strides. So
sounds good. And I'll make my way out of here and back to the keep. Hour or so walk out of town.
Mid-evening. No problem navigating, which is shocking. Aldrich sent a note. Sorry he, didn't hear back from you regarding dinner.
It's okay.
And
we had lunch earlier today, so I don't know if we had plans for dinner, but
no, but he would have sent a note. There'd be one note there that said, "Hey, are you free for dinner?" Then he didn't hear back, and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I missed you."
Okay.
No,
I'm sorry, I missed you.
That's right. Do you want to send word to Fraldrum?
Yeah, so I'll write her a note to the effect of heard there's someone staying at the Eternal Lantern who may be in the employ of our purple-eyed wizard. Might be worth investigating further.
Send word, have a nice bath drawn, drink some good alcohol. As you're getting out of the bath, one of your attendees comes and says that you have a visitor in your rooms.
My chicken tendies.
Sort of. By the description, it sounds like Doshrik.
Okay.
Should put him on here.
I just thought of like Doshrik like jumping into a big pot of like boiling oil, and then he just like comes out like fried chicken. Doshrik, no! Oh, he's so delicious.
He's so delicious.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell him, give me a moment. I'll clothe myself.
So Doshrik is waiting in your parlor. The low fire going, keep the chill out.
When was the last time I saw Doshrik? I think it was a couple. I think last time I saw him was we had that crazy rescue mission.
Yeah.
So I'll ask him. Doshrik, this is well, actually, no. Okay, I saw him afterwards. We saw him at Lady Kieran's house. So we had the crazy rescue. Then we met at
sort of the debriefing.
Yeah. So it's been like 2 weeks. Yeah. But I say, how are you doing?
Continuing to learn much under Fraldrum. We are lucky to have made her acquaintance. After everything that transpired with Adabir and his death.
Adabir's dead?
I I have to admit that I held some ill feeling towards you, sort of having wrecked my chances. But Fraldrum is such a kind master and wise.
I tell him, "Well, I'm glad you stayed as well. I think you have been good, uh, a good ally and friend."
He bows deeply. Fraldrum sent me to gain details on these people that you saw. What can you tell me?
Yeah, I'll just tell him from what I tell him that I learned it secondhand from a dwarven adventure. Um, Tell him that very gaunt, kind of unremarkable, but very skinny goblin staying at the Eternal Lantern, who's been heard speaking of Holver, and as if maybe an employer, an acquaintance, or someone he's being paid by. And tell him wearing light armor, not sure if he's capable of magic, apparently very cagey, very be careful spying on him or attempting to track him. He'll probably catch on to you.
And his summoner companion, you
Right.
describe
Who you're
him.
dealing with. Yeah.
Doshrik makes notes as you're talking. And says that he'll report back to Fraldrum. He leans in and says that I need your advice regarding something. He says Fraldrum is considering informing Algret and the court magician that Holver is in the area.
Okay.
Part, it would be an olive branch to show that the two sides don't have to always be at odds. But my fear is that Algret will take the opportunity to ally himself with Holver.
Yeah. So we know that Holver probably wouldn't benefit too much from Algret. He already has his own plans in place, his own powerful undead that at his disposal.
Militarily, force of arms, he wouldn't benefit.
I see what you mean. Okay.
But you disguise Holver or his apprentices, and keep in mind that Holver is not working alone. And now Holver has access to a noble library, temple libraries there in Galwell. Hivar is probably too small to have much of a library. It's
but
other resources.
him being in Algret's domain does well. Right, right now he's just in the vetch, or sorry, not in the vetch, in the wilderness, kind of difficult to observe. So even if he does become an ally to Algrit, that possibly gives us more space to observe his goings on, right? There is a benefit to that.
How much do you think Algrit's spies speak on Fraudrum? How much opportunity do you think they have to see what she does? She comes and goes as she pleases using magical means,
Mm-hmm.
traveling hundreds of miles in an instant. I don't know that the advantages you see exist.
So then the disadvantages you're listing, right, would be Algrid having this powerful necromancer not at his disposal, but definitely as a kind of protection. If we move against Algrid, then he has Holver is. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't see if there's really a big advantage or disadvantage. It's interesting.
Imagine,
Algrid.
for instance, if there were increased undead activity throughout Miagral's county. It would show that the gods don't favor her, that she's not keeping a lid on the unholy. Keep in mind what it would take for every other merchant caravan to be attacked leaving the county. Her county becomes unsafe. She gains a reputation. Her power is weakening.
Right.
Those are ones off the top of my head. Setting aside more arcane matters.
I don't know, but I still think Holver, I tell him that. I think Holver would accomplish what he wants to accomplish with Algrid's help or not. I think this could be I think we might need his resources to deal with this common threat. I don't think Holver is, it's tricky. I don't think he's interested in just Mirgal or just Algrid's domain. I think he does pose a threat to all of us. And keeping secrets like that won't bring us any closer together to defeating him, or at least driving him out.
Doshik nods.
But then again, Algrid did send fake cultists, so I don't know how high of an opinion Brise has of him.
Well, even if just the court magician believes us, that could be something. Yeah, I could not remember his name.
I've also had several not positive interactions with Tanzab, but he definitely is interested in being an ally rather than enemy, even if it's only to his benefit. So that could work.
It's apparently a point that Doshik had not considered. Maybe then we could both counsel Fraudrum to only tell Tanzot and leave Algrit, at least for the moment, in the dark.
I think that's a good idea, because Tanzot would at least be more aware of the implications of this powerful necromancer, whereas Algrit might be blinded by the opportunity for power.
Well, with your
Or the
permission,
damaging Mighral's reputation.
then I will present it as both our arguments.
Yeah.
He looks into the fire for a moment, nods to himself, rises. Takes your hand in his, gives it a squeeze, his feathery hands.
That tickles.
He says, "It is good to see you again."
You as well.
Takes his leave. Pretty well close to time for your character to collapse in unconsciousness. What say we take a break?
Yeah.
And gang, we're going to go refill our drinks and stretch our legs. So you guys take that same opportunity and just bear with us for a few minutes, and we'll be right back with you. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Thanks for hanging with us. Let's get Max back on here. There he is. And we appreciate you hanging with us for a few moments. We just got back from a conversation with adventurer named Janvor, as well as a conversation with Doshrik here back at Lady Meagral's Keep.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
It's time for a little catch some Z's.
that's right. So we're going to roll your 3.
So 37, 25, and a 100.
100. Roll again and add it.
Plus 27.
All right.
Huh.
Your new temporary exhaustion is 86.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Wake up at the crack of dawn. Low fire has been maintained in your room.
Continues to improve.
Knock on your door announces that Aldrich is there hoping to breakfast with you.
I'll breakfast with him.
They run to fetch enough food. You throw on a house coat, take your meal in the parlor. It's very good to see him.
Yeah. I asked him about his work. I know it's been a couple weeks ago. He was concerned about his performance tailoring for the lady. Has he had any more issues with that, or are things going pretty well?
He said he hasn't made much progress on that front, but in other areas, work is going really well in that he feels like a lot of his goblin co-workers, who are, as you know, tend to be very cagey and very untrusting, they are coming to recognize his skills, compliment him more, trust him more, like if he's going to finish one of their garments and things like that. And so he feels more accepted.
Yeah.
And you can tell how important that is to him. He does kind of thrive on acceptance.
Yeah.
To a degree.
It's good. Mirgral is an equal opportunity employer. Goblins, humans, elves.
Whoever's right for the job, right?
Yeah.
He says there will be at least some respite from the pressures of his duty because Miagral is going on a tour, and so will not be back in the keep. She leaves tomorrow. She won't be back in the keep until late August, I believe. Is
wow.
Is that right? Yeah.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
So, yeah, returns August 23rd.
That's crazy. That's over a month in game time, month and a half.
Mm-hmm. And it may be why the fake cultist mission was chosen to start,
Mm-hmm.
so that they had a good 6 weeks to set up and operate, um, while she's gone, and it could add to the sense of moral laxity that they're trying to build. She was
Right.
out playing. Um,
I ask him, where does she plan to tour? The
oh,
lands outside Nargaz, or
that's well above me. Um, my understanding is she's going to visit friends within the country.
okay.
A trip to Pleston may be planned.
Is it Narguzian? Narguzian?
It's what, Narguzian?
What is that? Her Narguzian friends.
Oh, I see. Yes, got to stop at Goblin Noble.
Nargazese.
That's right.
Sorry. Okay.
Narguzites, as they are.
Uh,
Some of those, names for denizens of a place are really bizarre.
yeah.
I can't remember. So some of the ones out in California, can't remember the one that always cracks me up. Is it Franciscoans? No, I can't remember. Are they ites? Are they uns? What are they?
Or just like no, they're just poles.
That's right.
You reduce the last syllable.
So with her gone, he'll be attending to lesser women staying.
Right.
That he might be able to please. His work might please them more. Meanwhile, the more trusted tailors will travel with her,
Right.
as part of the entourage, and so he's fine with that. Let him get a breather.
I wonder how Brise feels about that, because she's like, I mean, Brise is pretty adventurous. I'm like, oh man, I would love to go on tour to see all these places.
Yeah, no kidding.
But you do you, Aldrich. I understand. Oh, excuse me.
It's just a lovely, warm breakfast. He can't stay too long, of course, because he has duties to attend to. Unlike your lazy self.
I'm on holiday. Okay, a rough time in the catacombs.
You've got a breather coming. So
I spent like 8 hours in the catacombs, and now I need like a week of rest.
that's right.
That's basically adventuring for you.
That's basically Karandrin for you. It's, you think you know what you're getting into, and so add another point of exhaustion.
Nice. 87.
A letter arrives from Baldrum. They are going to put out some very gentle feelers regarding the two adventurers that seem to be in Holver's employ,
Right.
and they're going to um, um, not do more than that unless things get really interesting.
Yeah.
And if it gets really interesting, then they'll escalate sharply. Um,
I wonder how long has Mia Girl been planning this tour, and does Holver know about it?
that's interesting.
Yeah. I kind of want to, if I can talk with Fraldrim. So this reply to her note, that's well and good. And I guess I could ask her through the note. Just wonder about Mia Grall's tour. I'm assuming it's public knowledge if Aldrich knows about it.
Well, Aldrich knows about it because it's shop knowledge.
Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe I should just ask to meet with her today. Just had a question about the topic.
About which topic?
About Holver. Just in reference to that note, that's well and good. I have an additional topic I might want to discuss in person. Shouldn't take long.
Off the note goes. What else would you like to do?
Yeah, not much on my goals today. We're kind of just free until the evening, and we'll return to town. You could do some of my spear throwing, or spend time in the rock gardens, like I've been doing, and also reading from some of my books.
Well, pick one.
Let's do some spear throwing. Haven't done that in a little while.
Exhilarating, good fun. You do tremendously. Toward the end of your session, Fraldrim, in her absent way, catches you on your way out the courtyard, headed back to your quarters and a bath.
Good running into you.
You had some things to discuss.
Yeah. So I asked just about Mia Grall's tour, about where she's planning to visit, and also how long has she been planning this.
These are curious, curious questions. Not widely discussed, I might add.
Okay. I only heard about it through Aldrich. Well, I'll just say I heard about it from the tailors. Shop talk.
Yes.
I just wonder if it has anything to do with Holver, because he didn't appear in the valley until recently. Now we know Volshad. I'm speaking in a low voice. We know Volshad was intending to influence Mia Grall's dreams, so I don't think she knew about her upcoming departure. But Holver seems to be more timely.
We had no idea that Volshad was capable of spying on people's dreams. That said, we knew that the magic was out there to do so.
Mm-hmm.
The magic to defend against it is somewhat rarer. That is to say that we had only basic defenses on Miagral, protecting her dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So it is possible that Volshad knew, which makes it now possible that Holver knew, or knows now.
That Miagral has defenses on her dreams?
About the tour itself.
Wow. Oh, right. Okay.
That said, we have increased the undead defenses on the tour. The greatest blow I could see is that if the tour is attacked by a Nauglyph and Miagral is slain, it would very much destabilize everything I've been trying to accomplish here for some years. Which is to say peace.
Yeah, peace between the other domains. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It still just doesn't point to Holver's ultimate motive at all, fortunately.
No, although from what we know, he does thrive on chaos. He may simply enjoy it. But of greater concern, of course, is there something we simply don't know about. Miagral gone, who knows if I would be replaced? Would Holver be so bold as to present himself as a court magician to the new regime?
Mm-hmm.
But all that is beyond what we can postulate.
Right.
Precautions have been taken. Miagral would not be persuaded to cut her visit short. She will visit 4 royal households, possibly a trip to Pleston. and then return home on or after the 23rd. You reach your room. She sort of makes herself at home in her sort of,
Yeah.
she's no socialite kind of way. Takes a seat by the fire.
Yeah. I don't know much to add. So
She
just, and
does.
I assume my duty will just be to watch over the keep and not get into trouble. Be ready for anything that might be asked of me.
You'll be free to come and go periodically. We'll simply need to know when you'll be back. You should know that, except for a few unfortunate dead soldiers, our destruction of the fake cultists went without a hitch.
All right.
I also appreciate yours and Doshrick's advice regarding talking to Tanzot and Albert. But it is because we have destroyed their cultists, or their fake cultists, that I have decided to inform them both.
As a peace offering after we dealt with there.
And to show that there are bigger things than the spat between them.
Yeah.
Holver would happily destroy them both if it met his purposes. Now we'll see if we can convince those two fools of that. I will present myself to Algert's court this afternoon. I'll be back this evening. But still, I value your advice.
My 18-year-old advice.
Hey, you're fully an adult.
I know a lot about the world, okay? I've had one boyfriend.
You sound like every 18-year-old I've ever met.
I have one boyfriend, and he's the one I'm going to have for life.
That's right.
Never dated anybody else.
That's what gets us canceled, right? 18-year-olds storming us, going, "What? No!"
Yeah, our whole mixture of this secret contingent of 18-year-olds who very into Karandrin. It's like, all the ages, and then 18, and then like all the other.
Right. I haven't looked at our analytics in ages. That's got to be dismal, but I should check this out.
I wonder how low can we go? Can we go like,
negative viewership?
Viewers? No. Okay. Yeah. So that's all I have to talk about. If she's done, I'll get myself ready for a bath. As long as.
Yep. Oh, did you want to ask her about anything like that you learned recently?
I'll show her the witch's broom. She's here in my room, and it's in the corner. I'm like, hey.
It was in the corner. It's a pile of ash now.
Oh. Interesting. Hey, Fraldrum, what's that? Never mind. Yeah, never mind.
Um,
Could you get a broom?
I,
I had one, but I hate to ask you for this.
what about, do you care to ask about the cloud thing?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not of too much interest.
No problem.
Go to Janvor. It's like the witch's broom. It turned to ash just like you predicted. He's like, oh, really? It's like him just like setting fire to it. Like, you're gonna think
He's like just burning things. He just enjoys burning things. And what is that called? What is that syndrome where
pyromaniac.
no, where you like to be the hero. That syndrome, right? Where you're like, oh, I make this prediction, so be careful of it. And then, you go around setting fire so you can save the day.
Right. You need to have the attention on you. Yeah, heroes complex. There's probably another name for it.
Yeah, I can't, man. Angel something? Is it? I can't remember. This is where oh dang it, Quinn would hop on and look things up.
Can't believe Quinn's messing episode 150.
I know.
The episode where we make plans and have a lot of conversations.
I don't think I told you he really liked the dream episode that we did.
Yeah.
He really liked that. He's like, that was the right balance of creepy and surreal and interesting. And so he really liked that one. So, all right, she takes her leave. You have a luxurious bath. Do some rock garden.
Yeah. Quinn would also be disappointed. I destroyed a magic item without even being there.
By remote, almost. By remote. Lovely walk in the rock garden. Return. Do you want to read on some of your texts?
Yeah, we'll read on my book on golems.
Roll for me.
18.
Man. Just a few minutes. So you're up to 3 hours now. Change topic. Read on something else.
Sure. What else do we got? I've got
Nature's Law and Speech for All People is what I've got listed.
Yeah. Wait, Nature's Law, do I have?
1 through 5. Well, you've got 1 through 10, but
yeah, I'm studying 1 through 5. Yeah, we'll read from Nature's Law.
Roll for me.
42.
That's an hour. Lunch. Lunch is really good. Add a point of temporary exhaustion.
Nice.
What next?
We can go to the Adventurers Guild in town a little early and just see if there's any interesting topics going on. Shop around for some magic items. Kind of like the list I sent you. I'm still interested in buying any of those.
Right.
I'll pull that up too. Honestly, we just go to the magic shop as well. Mulia's. Tour that. I believe Mulia's is close to the Eternal Land. I could be making that up, but I don't think they're too far.
It's not too far away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's a good thing for.
Yes.
Well, we can roll your shopping off camera.
Okay.
And then we'll put you at the Eternal Lantern late afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to play through Janvor's discussion and so on, or do you want to stop here? What do you think?
I think that'd be cool just to see like how does he teach about traps, right? And like how does Brise do? Does Brise lose her finger in a mechanical trap?
I think that's always that's the only role I'm going for, really. I mean, not just a finger, obviously, but a limb, really.
He like has this mechanical trap. It's literally like 4 times the size of him. He's like, step inside. Okay. Brise's trust in other people is
it's same sort of
already stretched then.
Yeah, it's like a James Bondian kind of, like the clear glass cage with fumes in it and stuff like that. So yeah, head to the Eternal Candle after having some hopeful luck at the shops.
Okay.
Hang out there. No sign of the people you suspect being operating with Holver.
Mm-hmm.
I got to put Holver's description up during all this time. So
I guess we would have told Janvor to meet in the common room. Then we'll go to his room.
Yeah, you wouldn't know which room is his anyway.
Yeah.
So you hang out, just sort of observe people. No one approaches you. There are 2 larger groups that you could approach if you're interested. One is very secretive. The other one is just as open. 08 and a 112.
And the secretive group is like, shh, quiet. Shut up.
But yeah, they're huddled and whispering and so on. It's a group of 7. The other group, the more open group, is a group of 12.
Wow.
Very large.
Like a council of adventurers.
It is.
Like a moderator. Yeah, I'll keep my distance. I think I'll.
That a large open group. They seem a brutal bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, they're having like a really good time and they're laughing a lot, but they all look like they would cut your throat as soon as look at you. Wow. So you just sort of sit back, consciously ignore the secretive group. Janvor comes in with a couple of bags. Spots you. Gestures for you to follow him. Up you go.
Yeah.
His room is quite slovenly already, even though he's only been here for a couple of days. You throw things in piles and so on, and pulls out the table, spreads the bags out. It is a lot of mechanical gear and so on, carriage springs and various other things. And he begins fashioning some mechanical device.
We have Olivia Lynn 32 on Twitch. Hi.
Fun.
Catching the tail end of our stream here.
Hello, Olivia. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy. There's a lot more on YouTube you can see. This is episode 150, for God's sake. You're going to see two. That's right. Right. I'm bad at that. Look, there it is. But so he begins fashioning what no doubt is going to be a trap for you to disarm. But he turns to you and says, "Did you make any decisions regarding the men you think Holver hired?"
Tell them that I told my allies at the keep have a little more resources than I do, and they're going to put out some feelers, very gentle, to see if there's any kind of connection.
Well, I'll tell you what I know about Holver, and I don't know what usefulness it will be for you, but I was once based in Iainos for quite a while. I had many interesting adventures in that area. That, of course, is the jewel of the desert, one of the northernmost cities of the Pin clans. A city you visited very briefly.
Yeah.
There, among the adventurers, and this was about 4 years ago, it was well known that Holver was hiring numerous groups of adventurers to travel north into the Ancients' lands and northeast to the Aben Plateau and the land of the giants. You can tell by the look on your face that you don't know the Aben Plateau.
No.
And he says the plateau is of great curiosity. And unfortunately, the giants have taken interest in it as well.
Is it ABEN?
ABBEN, double B.
Aben.
Plateau. There is a whole network of rooms and passageways underneath the plateau. Stretches for hundreds of miles. Olivia, this is a modified version of Rollmaster 2nd Edition. It's modified in as much as Max, our player, has very few numbers to deal with, and I handle all the numbers back here. But that's the game I've been running for about 30 years. And
this is the character I'm playing. Oh, I can't do it.
That's right. That's pretty good.
Oh, my finger!
Yeah, God, it wasn't a trap that took your finger off. It was a graphic.
Those JPEGs are sharp.
That's right. High resolution means high cutting.
High resolution knife.
So the passageways and the rooms shift beneath the ground. And we don't know why.
I'm assuming they're large enough to accommodate the giants?
They are not. But the giants have set guards on many of the southern entrances. And you either have to bargain with the giants to enter or risk their wrath coming out. There is something of great interest in the Aben Plateau for Holver, and what that is, I don't know. This is the only one we stream, Olivia. I mean, I've run other games. I've run, I don't know, 4 or 5 other homebrew systems I've run, but this is the only one we stream. And Max plays, but doesn't stream anything else, I don't believe, unless he's holding out on me. But he plays lots of other systems as well. So that was about 4 years ago.
Oh, you can post, Kevin, if you want to post the notes to that.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Right.
Yeah, we do have a compilation of all the notes and character info and gear I've been compiling over all our episodes. And that's, you can go click on that to get some more background.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of information there you can see. Now we're much closer to the Aben Plateau here. It's to the north. Oh, sorry. It's to the northeast from here. Sorry. So it'd be northwest of Ianos. So I told you wrong earlier.
Janvor has terrible sense of direction.
He does. He's honestly an asshole. Let's be honest.
Okay, so it's northwest from Ianos?
Yes, it's northwest from Ianos.
And then northeast from here.
Cool, Olivia.
Okay, so Holver might have moved here because of his interest in the plateau.
It's about a week north or more from the northern ranges of Nargaz. Very rugged terrain. The plateau juts out from the eastern side of the mountains. And as I said, it stretches for hundreds of miles before it descends into the land of the ancients.
Do you know any artifacts or what might be kept beneath the plateau?
I've not talked to many adventurers who've even attempted it. Why build a structure with shifting rooms and passageways?
Holver does love chaos, as I've heard.
Congrats, Olivia. That's cool. While I've always been curious, I've never made it up there myself. There is simply so much to see.
Okay. Do you know which, I guess, so then thinking about to look for people leaving Ballabry towards the plateau. So it'd be the northeast road, easternmost road.
Well, it's assumed there's a direct way there.
Yeah.
It seems highly unlikely.
Right. I guess I just ask him if one were to go from here to the plateau, what route, would you take to your best of your knowledge?
I don't know the northern routes in Nargaz very well at all.
Okay.
But certainly head north. I've heard of the Lake Triumphs north of here. Perhaps there's passage there. I don't know. But even then, you're talking about some really rugged, jagged hills, scrubland mostly. And that rings a bell with you.
Lake Triumphs.
Well, not just that, the rugged hills north of here. You're thinking maybe that's where Oshekra is. Do you remember being teleported to Oshekras and looking at that barren, jagged, hilly land?
Yeah, and it looked very unfamiliar, but
And the Lake Triumphs you have heard of before.
Yeah, so it's 3 cities on an enormous lake. Nargaz lays claim to them, though they're independent states.
Yeah, city-state.
Allied together, and no country's been able to conquer them.
Yeah.
Hestus is interested in them, which is interesting. Right, okay. So I guess I ask him if there's anything else he knows about Holver or what he might be interested in from his time in Eainos.
I know he has a reputation for not keeping his deals. And the only reason that anyone takes business from him is because even though he may welch on what he offers, he at least sends you to very lucrative areas. You still make a pretty penny.
Okay. Attract people who are more interested in money and wealth above all else, probably.
Yeah, once his reputation is known, it's certainly true.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get a lot of naive people, I guess, is the other end of that bargain, right? Or just haven't heard of him, So
right.
Newcomers to the area. He's like, hey, I've got a great deal for you.
Okay. I might as well tell him what I know about hold there as well. Anything that could do like to keep him. Oh, well, I offer if, you know, to tell him what I know as well, if he thinks it'll help him.
He's cautious. He's like, sure, that's, so you sort of, you're going to bring in Elbrig as well?
No, just tell him that, the undead that he's known to command, that he tends to be bold and not secretive when he makes his moves. And now we're kind of just trying to figure out what he's doing right now in the area, given what little we know about him.
Well, he is a callous bastard. So by all means, you and your allies take care. Oh, you think we should wrap up there? We can sort of roll through the trap training.
Yeah.
Sure, Olivia, we're about to end it, so make it quick.
We'll jump to the end slate as well.
Yeah. We're about to get 40 dick pics on the stream, so we're about to get.
I'm ready for it. Ready to screenshot right now.
Where is? I'm gonna take that down.
You just want to go through the ending slate.
Sure. So there you go, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us for episode 150. I can't believe we've made it this long. We always appreciate you hanging out with us. By all means, do like and subscribe if you think we're doing it. Oh, no, thank you, Olivia. We appreciate it. We have that area covered in our staff, but thank you. So hop to Donor Box too and send us a little love if you think we're doing a good job. If you want to hear more from Max, and I think you should, he discusses the role of original soundtracks and music in video games. You can find his YouTube channel right there. Thanks as always to Elliot Dunovitz for their character art that we use almost every session for Brise's character. If you want to see more of their work, hop to artstation.com/Tortolua. And I've written a novel that you can find on Amazon.com called A Shore Too Far. Do hop to it and take a look at it, and I hope you enjoy it. So thanks again, everybody, for we made it to 150. And Max, why don't you say goodbye to the lovely people?
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks, Olivia, for tuning in. And we will let you know if we're meeting next week and give you those times and dates. Otherwise, if not, then have a great rest of 2024 and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. Thanks for everything.